So welcome to another Wardy's Waffle Farm update. Hope you've enjoyed the previous farm tour. This is part 2 of a look around the farm. Please come back with any questions. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoy it. So here we go. So this is the chemical store. It's all part of the new shed. Insulated roof, insulated walls, purpose built. That's not insulated because the workshop is next door, which is insulated. And it's great because it will keep the sprayer frost free down to about -10 outside, but really good, purpose built. We fill undercover, got all the chemicals behind there, 10,000 litre water tank coupled up to the mains, and here that is the switch for that roller door. So yeah, that's a 10,000 litre tank coupled up to the mains. When we're filling the sprayer, we've got the water supply around here. This is old boxes waiting to be recycled. We swing that out, you can see there, that's the pipe, and the sprayer will back up, and then we've got taps on here and here, and then that will just couple up there, and it will just couple onto that sprayer there, and then that's obviously the smaller pipe is for filling up the wash tank. So it works really well, that does, and I had it like that. I just hate tripping over things, so having a water pipe draped across the floor into the sprayer is a real trip hazard, so you can walk underneath it fine. So we'll go into this. Oh, that's gone right to the top. That is a water tank coupled to the guttering. You can see there a rainwater tank, so we use that quite a lot. It's really handy here because we've got the chemical store so near. Just before we go in there, I will go around the back here. We've got another water tank round the back coupled to this roof, and this is round here is a 40,000 litre tank, Omex tank again, and I know they say you meant to have them black to stop the light getting into to ruin the quality of the water, but we do clean the tanks out regularly, go inside them, power wash them, and clean them out. You can see that one there, 40,000 litres. That's coupled up to the spouts as well up there, and there's the inspection chamber. We've got this concreted here because when I put that in a few years ago, I don't know why, I obviously hadn't got out of bed the right side that morning, and we can't get past here with a hedge cutter or any machinery. So I'm going to move that to there, and then we can get past right down here for this hedge and everything down the side of this building. So what we do, we back the bowser. When that's full, we'll back the bowser down here, take water out of that tank, and then put it in the tank round the corner. And because it's so near the chemical store, it's far easier to fill the sprayer. So we use this tank will always be filled with rainwater tank, and then when that's empty, we've got the 10,000 litre mains tank inside. Just had the last load of oilseed rape go today. This is now empty. Obviously got to all clean it out and blow it out, and that's what Ruben and Tom are going to be doing next week. But yeah, now you can see the difference in buildings between this one and the last one we went into. This one, from the floor up to the eaves, up to the gutter there, that's 32 feet. It's double the height of the other one. It's fantastic. You can tip lorries in it, no problem at all. We can tip our drain trailers in it, and it's just fantastic for storing stuff in. This particular building, there's no dryers or anything on here. We've got pedestals, and these are obviously vertical, so you put those, you can see like this, are in the corner first. That's how it will be, but at the back of the shed, you space them out down the shed. We put 1, 2, then we go 3, 4, and then where the marks are on the wall, 5, 6. So we have 6 in this building. Now you can see, the reason we've got Hessian on is because oilseed rape, there is, and you won't be able to see here because of the light, but it's got little slits cut in here, and the rape though would go through those slits. We put Hessian on there that stops the rape going through it. So we put a motor on the top, and when it's vertical, so there'll be a motor go up the top there, and it's pulling the air up. So it draws the air through the crop, up the tube and out the top, and that's what cools the crop down. We can't dry it in here, but we can just cool it and condition it and keep it right. And the reason I had this concrete floor done like this was in case you wanted in years to come do any commercial storage or anything like that, or store anything that doesn't like metal, such as sugar beet pulp and beet nuts and things. I can store it on this concrete floor. But in a way, I wish I'd had now some different type of ventilations, because it's not the best. It does create they are a bit of work keeping those keeping those working, keeping the pedestals working. So we'll drop the doors now and then head into another shed. So just drive around through the yard now, past the weighbridge that a lot of you have seen. That's the old workshop, the offices and the house. All it's going to be is just through there. That was the old workshop where we've got all the new racking in, and just driving around into the main part of this part of the new shed. So this is the workshop. Got a press there, got the inverters for the solar that's on the roof, and they've just been putting Ian and Ruben's just been putting one of the toolboxes off the quad track on the front of this Puma, because we are short of a box. So that's gone there. This Puma is, I think it's about 11 years old, actually 10 years old. Let's have a look. It's a 10 plate, yes, and when we got it, it was a 3-year-old Velcourt tractor when we got it, so we've had it 8 years. It had done 3,000 hours when we got it, and I think it's done about probably 4.5 maybe, so we haven't put a huge amount on it. This is the Bowser you've seen that we're doing, and there's the racking we put in at the back. That's I think Tom's car that he's doing a bit of work on. And we'll head now into the grain stores next door. So these doors again are really high. They're about I think 9 meters high, and I don't know what to say really, but it's quite surprising when you see decent grain stores ruined by low doors. It costs nothing to go higher, and I think to have the door right as high up into the corner there as you can into the roof is much better. I see so many grain stores where you get a lovely shed, but then the door will be right across there somewhere, and then you see all that tin up there will be damaged where the trailers coming out with the body still up have damaged it. And I think having big high doors is just so easy to do, and it doesn't cost a lot in comparison to the rest of the shed. So I'll just lift that door up a bit and put a light on next door, and I'll put that light on and lift that door up. There we go, that door's going up, and that one is. I'll stop them now because they do take quite a time to come down from the top. Stop that and that. So this is where we store our wheat. This is a newer type floor dryer. It's well vent. Again, a Lincoln company very near to me. I know them all well and do a great job. So we've still got a bit of wheat left in here left to sell. Haven't sold that, and now the price has dropped. I think I'll be keeping that till after harvest. Grain stirrer there, that red beam. Some of you have seen my videos. We'll look at that again when it's working. But again, different sections. That's over there where shed 3 was, where the rape, that's a concrete floor. So we've got 3 sections to this shed. This shed will hold 4,000 tonnes in total. Each section is about 1,350 tonnes. But again, real high shed. That's where the fans are at the top. And the good thing with that is the fans are facing, that out there is facing south and southwest, where our prevailing wind is. I can maybe can't hear it at the microphone, but I've got this good microphone. But that's where the wind is. So that's why we've got the louvers up there, because that's where the good air is. It's dry air up there. Sun and the wind always comes from this quarter, and that will pull in the air, pull it up into the fans at the top, down through the air tunnel, along and up through the floor. And I've shown you before how it works, but I'll just show you again for those new subscribers and viewers. So the fans will be up the top there, and it will blow the air down into the air tunnel here. Switch the light on, and then the air will come right through here. We've got trap doors there. You can see that we fold down and lift up depending on how full the shed is, and the air goes under the floor, then up through the crop. And we've got these trap doors, you can see all the way along. So it depends on what crop. We can alter the trap doors both sides, and it works really well. And this will dry it. If you get the right weather and dry air, it will take 4 or 5% out. So works really well. Going around to this side, this is where we had the rape in here. Same floor as the other side, but if you remember, we've got some block grills here, you can see. So we've compared to those. So we've got to do some of this and get this all freed up and get the airflow back through it. We've lifted up the sides here because we need to blow it and clean out here. You see a bit of rape there has gone through, just a bit of general debris. So we've got to clean all these sheds out and hoover it out, and this is how you do it. So combine all under cover there, keeping dry, and that combine's 2015. It does about 100 and maybe 160, 180 hours a year. Just looking back across this side of the yard, another water tank there coupled up to this roof. That's 16,000 litres, proper water tank that is, but I've explained once or twice before, not happy with that filter bowl there. I was at the show, Lincolnshire show, and just this last few days, and water company there who specialise in this said that it should be 90% go into the tank and 10% through back into the drain, and it's the 10% that cleans the filter. But we're getting the other way. We're getting virtually nothing go in the tank, and they think it's because the filter there isn't level, so we've got to look at that. But this building was only put up 2 years ago. It's 8-metre bays here, and the reason I did that was because I wanted to get 2 lines of machines in one bay. If you only had 6-metre bays, you wouldn't be able to get 2 in, or you'd have to get one behind the other, so that it's cost a little bit more doing this shed. So we've got 4-metre bays at the back. You can see the gap there is 4, and that's 4. But then as we come forward up here, there's no middle support down here. So there's a beam across the top. I don't know whether the light will show you because of the... But there's a beam. So up there you see there should be a centre support down on there. But we've taken that out to get... So we've got, in effect, 2 lines of machines in an 8-metre bay. And it's the same across here, the same, and the same that way as well. And it works really, really, really well. And then we've got a locked up part there as well if we need it. So, and just to go around the corner here, we have got the back of this building has not got a gutter. It's curved eaves on purpose because of the trees and the leaves blocking the gutter. It had just been a pain in the backside to have cleaned it. So what we've done, so we've got curved eaves up there. So we've got a drain down there, French drain down there, all the way into a little pond at that corner. And then just going around here, talking of ponds, you've seen around here, I think I've been around here, there's a menage that we've pulled up and levelled it all up. We're going to reseed that. The new house is going just on the right, so that's where we are. And done all that menage, dug the stone out, saved that, used that on the new farm track. And the pond, we've dug this in probably 15 years ago, a bit more now. There's the pond. Lovely, lovely area. And through here is where Tara is buried. Lovely pond. Some of you will remember Tara, those of you who are on Twitter with me. Big part of my life, and I was distraught when we had to say goodbye to her. And Tara and Bonnie, Rhonda's lab, is here as well. Put lots of flowers in, and she was just the most amazing dog, Tara. Tara actually got run over when she was 3 years old on this A17. And she was found 27 hours later in a river about half a mile away up there, up to her neck in water. So I had to have 2 big operations. She got a back left leg smashed, pelvis broken in 2 places when she was 3, but she recovered, had another operation when she was 5, but then she went from 5 till 11 and a half in absolutely fantastic condition, had a wonderful life, and just followed me absolutely everywhere. And so we'll just drive out the back of the farm now. I'm going to try and get before the light goes much more. So this is now out to where all our farm is that we own. We own everything out the back here, and again you'll notice the good farm tracks we have. Really keen on this. If ever we drop any soil on, the minute we get, no matter what we're doing, even if we're drilling, if we're busy, we stop, go back with the shovel and clean it off. It's just so important to me to have decent farm roads. Obviously the land you saw, there was no ditches, no dikes, because it was all free draining. This land there is dikes around and hedges as well, good hedges. Now again, you've seen me talk about stewardship. It's a very important part of us and wildlife, and here we've got 6 metre margins around every field where we have that is next to a dike. So here you can see down here That is a winter bird food plot, and the reason we've got that there is because it's a real wet part of the farm, just down there next to that wood in the distance on the right. So we've got 6 metre margin next to the hedge, and then we've got 22 metres of winter bird food crop. Nice crop of spring barley there, which was that's Laureate. So we grow, we're on a contract with Frontier, and we're on the Molston Coors contract, so our barley goes to Burton-on-Trent, and Burton brew Grolsch Lager, Carling Lager, Doom Bar is another one, and a whole host of other sort of specialist beers. So our barley goes there. Now this is the field that we've got in our long-term cover crop trial, and we've had 8 years cover crops, and compare it to that field just through there that I've just seen a minute ago with the stewardship area. That one there last year was £180 a hectare, better return than that one there, and that's because of the cover crop had the cover crop field had higher costs because it was a cover crop seed, had to be drilled, and we had slugs on it, so I had to have slug pellets, whereas the field now behind me didn't have that, conventionally treated with the solo free flow drill, lower costs, high yield, £180 a hectare better. And I'm still, you've heard me say that I'm not a big fan of cover crops and direct drilling on heavy land. We've tried it, we keep trying it. That's the reason we had the direct drilling demo on the 6th of April. Anyway, down the track, carry on down the farm here. We've got a decent sized margin here. There's a hair just popped across. We've got our margins, actually, this one's been down, we established this in 2005. It's more than 6 metres, it's probably 12 metres here, but the hedge isn't straight in front, and so that one right in the distance, it narrows down to 6. But we're just losing the flowers here now, so I'm going to do the same with this one as you've seen me do with one up at the heath. Going to be spraying those grasses off, and then try and drill and plant some more flowers into that to try and get the flower content back up. Excuse me. So back down the farm, we've got a lovely field of spring beans here, and these are Vespa, and these are on a contract for seed for Agri. And then we've got one of our fields of sugar beet, and this is on the heavy land as well, don't forget, and that looks well. So pleased with how the crops look. So again, you can see the farm roads really consistent. We've got in the distance, you can see the white, that's a new beet pad we extended about 3 years ago now. Spent £22,000, it costs more now, put new concrete panels around the outside, and that's what I want to do with the sleeper wall we have that's falling down at the heath where I live. You can just see the line in the concrete, you can just see the line just in front, the lighter colour just in the foreground compared to the darker in the back. The foreground's the extended bit, and if I turn in here, you can see where we've got the soil dug from when we put this track in, and then you can see we've got that bit is, let me just go, extra concrete strip. You can just see the join just at the bottom of the screen as well. So yeah, we've put all this in, and we can get now on here. The field of sugar beet behind me is about, this one behind me there is about 30 acres, and all that should go on this beet pad in one go. So we'll have a look at that and just see. Hopefully it will. This field in front of us was sugar beet last year, planted with wheat around about October the 10th, I think it was. Apologies for this, I'm going to try and switch that sensor off. Footpath you can see there going through the middle of the field. And we've got these dotted around, and remember, for those of foreign viewers from other countries who are looking here in the UK, we have footpath laws that we have to keep these paths open. We have to spray the crops and put a track through them. We have to have an unobstructed path through the middle of a field. It's a metre wide for a footpath for the public to use. It's an old law that before cars were invented, people could go from church to church, from village to village, and school to school, and they'd walk. And so that's why, and we have to do it. If we don't keep these footpaths open and don't spray the crop out, if we cause an obstruction, we get warned, we get a chance to do it, and if we don't, then we're fined. And it's ridiculous, really. I've applied to move these footpaths around the edges of fields that are far more interesting, in my view, where the wildflower margins are, and each time I just get it rejected by the Ramblers Association and the county council who run it. We've got here, this is where the footpath is, 2 hares. You can see a hare there running down the track. Oh, there's, yeah, got a few there. So this is where we put the new the new track in, and this is the stone off the menage, and the stone from the house is underneath that as well. And so we're going to tidy all this up, and you'll see this improve over the next year or so. Field on the left there that we're looking at now, that was sugar beet this last year, planted in 2 halves. This bit was planted around about the probably middle end of October, early end of October, that will be planted. And that variety is Chabras, which is a feed wheat, and that variety, that field there that we've just looked at, is Chabras as well, and that's the one after sugar beet that we planted first of all. So there were 2 fields there together after sugar beet. The white house you can see in front is that is the village of Stragglethorpe. In front, not far from the edge of Fulbeck Airfield, there's an international kart racing circuit just there. And we'll head round now to the other part of the farm and just show you the rest of the crops the other way. Back round the track, you've been here, we came from the yard. The yard is just up to the left in a moment. The soil type here, as I said, is quite heavy clay. There's the yard to the left. It's heavy clay. We've had all the farm mapped, sand, silt and clay tested and mapped. So had it all scanned, and we've got sand, silt and clay maps. We test every 4 years for potash and phosphate levels. Got a little heap there of black grass that wants collecting from the field in front. Field in front of us there is a 4th year wheat, so it's been wheat for 4 years on the trot. Variety Chabras, again an older variety, but you can tell the number of fields we've got, it does well. Another heap of sewage sludge you can just see on the right, gone out of view. And yeah, so heavy clay soils. I've had them all mapped, ranging from 35% clay where we grow sugar beet up to 55-60% clay on the fields where we don't grow sugar beet. This is the other end of that field. It's L-shaped, where we had that new stone track put down. This was sugar beet. This was the second part that was drilled. If you remember, I said a minute ago it was drilled in 2 halves. This was drilled towards the end of November. Field on the left was beans. Sugar beet 2 years ago, again for seed for Agri. Got a weather station here on our right. You can just see the white one coming up there. Just turn that back round. And so a cropping here. Sugar beet is a break crop. After sugar beet, we always wheat. We then follow that, we're just starting to follow that with beans. We would have followed that after the wheat with rape, but we've had a break from it, as I've already mentioned. Another beet pad just here, which I'll talk about in a minute. And so it's sugar beet, then wheat, then beans. We might go back to rape in a minute, then back to wheat, then probably oats, then back to wheat, then sugar beet, then back to wheat, and beans or oats. So we're just we're stretching it out, so we only have rape every sort of 6-7 years. That's what we're trying to do. So we're going back into it this year. So just turning around now here, we have got, again, this is all our own land as far as you can see the trees in front, and the field on our left in a minute. Footpath comes through there. You can just see, I will right through the middle. Let me just turn. You can see there's the footpath, goes right through the middle of the field, right up to the far end. We've had to spray that out, and it comes behind me as well from the other direction. So those of you who were here at our Agri farm day last week, you'll see this, or know where we are, because this is where the winter wheat plots are. Got a lovely pair of partridges there running in front. Bit sad that there aren't any young ones. And I'll talk about the game and the wildlife in a minute. And you can just see coming up here one of our feeders in front. The blue feeders, that's what we feed during the winter and feed all the wildlife, pheasants, partridges and everything. And here we've got another heap of black grass just to collect. So you can see another heap of sewage sludge here just through there. So this is our boundary. So the trees in the very distance you can see there, that's our boundary. But we are contract farming the farm over the dike here, and that's what's really good. Got another heap of oats and blackgrass there that need collecting. In fact, I'll turn around the other way and then you can see this field. So yeah, we're contract farming that over the hedge as well there, but we sort of share that with a local haylage contractor who we have wheat in between his haylage. This fields here are continuous wheat and have been 5 years now. The last time this was a break crop was a failed rape crop 5 years ago, and we are thinking of having these back to rape this next year. But you'll notice there's no blackgrass anywhere around the farm. These have been pulled, which you can just see we haven't got much blackgrass. We've got more than we've had, but it's a bad year this year. So for us to be able to pull it when we drilled 2 weeks earlier last autumn, we drilled a lot of our crops 10th, 15th of October, whereas normally one to drill it by the 25th of October. In front is all the Agri variety trials, and you remember we had those last week, and all those boards are different varieties, different treatments, very minute plots. If you can just see in the distance the dividing line between them, there you can see. So those lines there, that means that is an individual plot. We'll have a little plot combine come and harvest those. So some really interesting data we're going to get from there. So we'll head back out now over to through the yard and through the contract farm. I will just now talk about the machinery. We've been on crawlers here for a long while. My father started my sort of interest in soil, and he would always insist on having a track Marshall crawler to start with. We had a Caterpillar crawler as well, D4D, D5D. We had a 135, 155 track Marshall. We then went on to when the first Challengers came out, which were based on a Ford, on a TW Ford. We had one of those, and then we kept that. We then went on to a John Deere tracked, an 8510 or 8520 tracked John Deere that wasn't ever so successful, and then we sold that and went to our first quad track. We bought a second-hand 440 quad track, bought that from a farm in Bedfordshire. The tractor was, I think, about 5 or 6 years old. Bought that and then had that, kept that about 5 years, 6 years, and then bought a new 535, so 535 horsepower. Bought that and got some good finance on it, and that was our first new quad track, if you like. And then we kept that 9 years, and then swapped that for an STX 620, so 620 horsepower. And as you've seen, we've just changed that. That's just gone, and that was only 4 years old. But the reason it went was because we don't need that horsepower now. We're not working as much soil, we're not working as deep, we're direct drilling more, but we were using the fuel of a 600 horsepower tractor without using a horsepower, if you understand me. And so it was really silly to keep it, and I don't think quad tracks are quite as popular as they were. So I sold ours to a local dealer, versatile dealer, up in Lincolnshire, and then he's traded it on, moved it on. But so I think, yeah, I just felt that I wanted to get rid of it while I could before I lost any more money on it, because I think they're just going to keep depreciating like things do. It's still worth the money, and hell of a tractor, unbelievable tractor, a quad track. I just cannot emphasize enough the power and the grip those tractors have, and that tractor has absolutely revolutionized how we farm. There's absolutely no doubt about it. It's given us better soil, better crops, and a better bank balance. But I think the time is now. We have to change. I'm a big believer in change. I always say to people, if you stand still, you end up going backwards. So that's why I've decided to change it for something else that is coming at the end of September. There's some stone from the Menage. So this field on the left, got a heap of sewage sludge there. This was spring beans last year, and it is Chabras wheat. Sorry, not Chabras, skyscraper wheat, that one on the left. And I think actually on the one on the right, when we came round here 5 minutes ago, I said that was Chabras. It's not, that is skyscraper. And they both look really, really well. So we'll see how they perform. But yeah, I'm a big believer in not standing still with things. I think you should develop, you should move on, and new technologies happen all the time. Lots of things are changing. The whole farming system's changing. how we produce food, how the costs, I mean, with fuel is unbelievable. And some of you know I'm quite keen on our costs, and I know every time we start a tractor engine, I know to the penny how much that costs to operate, and with every machine on the back. So a tractor will cost a different amount to operate, different amount depending on what's on the back of the machine, and I know all the combinations and how much they cost to operate. That's why I know what our cost of establishment, and also I know what our cost of production are, and it's just, yeah, unbelievable that how you get a lot of farmers don't know what the costs are. But everybody's different, and everybody manages the business different. I get criticised for how I manage this farm. That's fine. If people want to do that, that's fine. But I know that what we're doing it right in my eyes. So I'm quite happy to keep going. Anyway, through the farm now, Weybridge here, as you can see, and it looks like the light is on in there. So I think, yep. So I will just go and switch that off, and then we'll head back out across the road. So that's it for part 2 of the farm tour. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, cheerio.